Hi, beautiful beings. Felt like showing up on camera as well and sharing with you this beautiful spring energy here in Vienna. It's a beautiful day and I'm in the park, and yeah, today feels special. Some of you may know my articles, have read them, about the energetics of it all, the cosmic energetics of it all, and astrology and archetypes, and that's something I just really burn for, and that has supported me so much along the way for many years now. And still it doesn't end, like the learning doesn't end, and it doesn't end to surprise me every year when the new cycle starts all over again with Aries, which is happening right now. And with the upcoming new moon on Monday, or in the night from Sunday to Monday actually, from the 11th to the 12th, I feel this portal so strongly, and I wanted to share a little more about that, share my fire a little more about that with you all, because I find it so powerful. And interestingly, the topic of fire and desire, and what is it that we really want, and how can we show up in sovereignty and own our desires, our fire, our anger, our emotions, our aliveness, like our sex, how can we own that? And that's just so overly present everywhere, and also with those beautiful sharings that Dara and Simon are doing right now on Facebook about how they are navigating through owning their desires, and how to bring that into relationship more. And it's such an abundant topic, and the more I feel into this energy, into this field, the more it comes down to just aliveness, or life itself. Because the fire of Aries, maybe I'm giving you a little bit of a background information here, because the 4 elements, or let's say 5 elements, are very important to understand the dynamics of astrology and of the zodiac. So there's 4 elements, but I have my own perception of Pisces. In classic astrology it's a water sign, but I feel it's more of etheric even. But with fire, air and earth, there's 3 different signs, 3 different qualities of every element. We have the initiative, fire, earth, water and air. We have the fixed, fire, water, earth and air. And we have the cardinal. I'm gonna explain that. Cardinal, how to put this in English? It's the 3rd quality, for example. No, actually, cardinal is the initiative. Exactly. Cardinal means initiative. Fixed means very much strongly fixed and stubborn in that energy, and sometimes also stagnant. And the 3rd is feeling a bit embarrassed now that I can't find the English word for it. It's mutable. It's mutable, exactly. It's like it's bending around. It's It's neither opening up a space or holding onto a space. It's more about sharing the energy with the outer world and moving with it. Yeah, that's it. So these are the three qualities of the four elements. And with fire, we have Aries as the cardinal, as the opener of a whole new chapter, the initiator of a whole new chapter. After that, the next fire sign is Leo, which is more about taking care of that inner fire, and that it's constantly fueled and constantly burning. Whereas Aries is more of a spark. It's more of that very spontaneous impulse that you feel that's coming from your root, like, oh, I want to do this right now. I want this. I want this now. And this can also be a shadow sometimes, because Aries goes with head up front through the wall, without thinking so much about what this action has consequences for the partner, for other beings that are involved in the process. But still, it's like this. With Aries, we learn how to follow our desires and to go for what we want. Yeah, the spark. And it can be very irrational, very spontaneous, and it needs from us lots of movement. Maybe those born under the Aries sun know this from themselves, how important movement, physical activity is for them, because this fire, this is being represented by the archetype of the warrior, or some also say it's like a pioneering energy, because it's initiative, it's opening a whole new area, and like going into the wild and having no idea what's gonna come, and it feels dangerous, and it feels beautiful at the same time, and curious, and like this explorer also that wants to conquer the world and explore everything that's in it in its whole abundance. And these days, not just now during Aries season, also with Chiron. Chiron is also in Aries right now. It has been for, I think it's about 2 years now, and it's gonna stay there another 6, correct me if I'm wrong. So this is a massive transit for the whole collective at this moment. And what is Chiron? Chiron represents, maybe you know this from mythology, represents the wounded healer. The one that explores his own wounds that can't be healed, so it's representing also our vulnerabilities. And by exploring his vulnerabilities and going on a healing journey, he becomes a master in supporting others in their healing. So it's coming from both sides. And whenever Chiron sits in your chart, let me tell you, it gives you so much insight on what your mission is here on Earth. And my brother Simon shares this often, and I strongly resonate with that. It's our deepest wounds, our highest purpose. They show us how we can take responsibility for our own healing, therefore mature, step up, and support others along the way. And Chiron in Aries shows the collective wounds that we have when it comes to our root. And Aries is also representing the root chakra. It has to do with our animalistic nature, with where we come from. And we come from sex. We come from sexual life force energy. And this is the spark that we feel, this aliveness that pops up in spring. This is Aries, and it's a masculine energy. I can feel that strongly, that I get all these visions of how I want to sort of penetrate life world, with my visions, with my with my visions, and like, how do I want to penetrate the world? That sounds maybe a little far out there, but this is actually it. And Aries is ruled by Mars. Let me try to come back to circle. Aries is ruled by Mars, so it's a deeply, deeply masculine energy. And it's about desires, it's about going for what we want, it's about penetrating the world, conquering. It's like that lover inside of us that knows how to take and penetrate. And if you guys out there know about the Wheel of Consent by Betty Martin, to take is something that many, many, many of us are afraid of doing. The taker is easily being put into shadowland, so that instead of like owning when we want to take something, like for example sexually, when we want to like really deeply take our partner, or like this hard to describe now, but I hope you're getting what I'm pointing at. So instead of doing that consciously and playing with that, it's being put into the shadow. So a big part of the masculine energy has been put in the shadow because it has lived its desires through the shadow by raping, drilling the earth, by expressing anger, for example, in a destructive and hurtful, violent way. All of that is the shadow of this archetype. So this is also why Aries represents a little bit our anger issues, how we are dealing with anger issues. And of course we're angry if we're suppressing aliveness constantly, so it has to come out through the shadow in some way. It needs to be expressed. And this is what's very, very present energetically right now. And also for this new moon, for this Aries season, it's all about how we are dealing with our own inner aliveness, and how much are we suppressing it, and why are we suppressing it, and how can we create safe spaces in which we can express our anger, our desires, our body, like everything that our creative energy, anything that wants to move through us, anything that feels alive. And that's, brothers and sisters, is why I love that tribe so much, because it offers these safe spaces to explore all of that and to heal. And as my sister Dara is sharing also, and I also resonate strongly, I feel that healing happens so fast these days. I feel like I'm in a constant field of something that wants to be cleared out of my system, and that wants to be expressed, and that wants to be held and loved and owned. And it happens like being in a roller coaster sometimes, and it's more important than ever to take responsibility for everything that comes up. So I was going for about 3 minutes or so, but now it's actually 14, and that's perfectly alright. So I just want to put that out there, and if there's anything in there that sparks curiosity in you, that you would like to share, how you're feeling these days about these topics, and how are you connected to your desires these days? Is it easy for you to not only voice them but also put them into action? Because I certainly am facing deep fears around that these days, but at the same time like a pull more than ever to go into that and to heal that. And with Chiron in Aries the next few years, the masculine principle, this is such a vulnerable space. It's such a vulnerable space to own and reclaim that beautiful masculine energy that is in all of us, men and women, whether you identify, no matter what you identify with. It's just this active force within us that wants to go for what it wants, and that maybe has received reactions in the past that were confusing, hurtful, that created some wounds why you don't feel safe enough to express that anymore. And these wounds are now here to being explored. That being said, I'm wishing you a beautiful Aries New Moon. May it empower you. May it align you with your fire. And may it also nurture you in your solar plexus and in your roots and wherever you feel like you need more warmth in your system, because that fire is sometimes excluded from our system, especially when we deal with depression, when we deal with very emotional states that can feel like we are drowning. Like this is when there's too much water element present and there's something off balance, then it's a little bit like we're drowning. And that fire, and also earth, the other elements, grounding, super important. Earth element is giving you a beautiful container to explore your fire, because fire can also, if you're just starting to explore your own fire and feel a little bit insecure about that, and then it comes up like very in a very explosive way, and you don't have that safe container, then it can be a little bit overwhelming, of course. So the earth element is also crucial these days for us to play with that, to explore, to heal. So let's not forget that. And felt good to share that with you. And if you're like resonating with that and would love to hear more, like in addition to my articles, and really like explore these topics further, then let me know. And I'd love to transform this into a consistent format, maybe, to share that additional information with you. Sending you lots of love, new moon blessings, and own your fucking fire.